To prove Marduk was the God of Israel, we need to read some of the Nebuchadnezzar Cylinder. A Nebuchadnezzar Cylinder by Edgar J. Banks. In recent years, the Babylonian Arabs have learned a new industry from the excavators, for when no more lucrative employment is to be had, they become archaeologists, and though it is forbidden to excavate for antiquities without special permission, they roam about the desert digging into the ruins at will. A day's journey to the south of Babylon, near the Euphrates, is a ruin mound so small that it has scarcely attracted the attention of the explorers. It is marked upon the maps as Wanat Essa, but among the Arabs of the surrounding region it is known as Wana Saydum. During the past 2 years this mound has been the scene of the illicit labor of the Arabs. The greatest of all ancient builders was Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon from 604 to 561 BC. There is scarcely a ruin in all southern Mesopotamia which does not contain bricks stamped with his name, or some other evidences of his activity. He delighted in restoring the ancient temples which had long been in ruins, and in supporting the neglected sacrifices to the gods. He preferred to build new cities and enlarge the old ones rather than to wage war. Few of his records hint of military expeditions, for he was a man of peace, and it is as a builder or restorer of old temples that he should best be known. That his name might be remembered, it was his custom, when restoring a temple, to inscribe large cylinders of clay with his building records, and to bury them in the walls of the structure. Some years ago several of the cylinders were found at Babylon, and they are considered among the most valuable of all things ancient. Recently, when the Arabs attacked the little mound of Wana Saydum, they came upon the walls of a fallen temple. In the walls they found, not one, but several of the Nebuchadnezzar cylinders in as perfect a condition as when they left the hands of that great king. They all contain the same inscription. The first part of it is similar to that upon the cylinder previously discovered. The latter part is a new and valuable contribution to Babylonian history. One of the cylinders discovered at Wana Saydum has come into the possession of the writer. It is 8½ inches high and 18 in circumference. Though such objects are generally called cylinders, this is in reality a truncated cone. It is hollow like a vase without a bottom, and the finger marks of the ancient potter clearly show that it was formed upon a wheel. The exceedingly fine clay was burned so hard that it resembles a fine hard stone of a yellowish color. The inscription contains about 1,500 cuneiform signs, or 145 lines of writing in 3 columns running about the cylinder. Every sign is still perfect. In his customary way, Nebuchadnezzar begins by telling who he is, and then follows an account of his building operations interspersed with words of self-praise. The translation reads, "I am Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, the great, the mighty, the favorite of Marduk, the powerful prince, the beloved of Nebu, the ruler who knows not weariness, the protector of the temples Esagil and Ezida, who is obedient to Nebu and Marduk his lords, who does their bidding, the wise Lord, the darling, and the joy of the heart of the great gods, the firstborn son of Nabopolassar, king of Babylon. The open court. When Marduk, the great Lord, made me the rightful son, to rule the land, to be the shepherd of his people, to care for the city, to rebuild the temples, he bestowed upon me great power. Tremblingly I was obedient to Marduk, my lord. I completed Imager Bel and Nimiti Bel, the great walls of Babylon, the mighty city, the city of his exalted power. At the entrance of the great gates I erected strong bulls of bronze, and terrible serpents standing upright. My father did that which no previous king had done. With mortar and bricks he built 2 moat walls about the city, and I, with mortar and bricks, built a 3rd great moat wall, and joined it and united it closely with the moat walls of my father. I laid its foundation deep to the water level, I raised its summit mountain high. I constructed a moat wall of burned bricks about the west wall of Babylon. My father built the moat wall of the Arato Canal securely with mortar and bricks. He built well the quays along the opposite shore of the Euphrates, but he did not finish all his work. But I, his firstborn son, the beloved of his heart, built the moat walls of Arato with mortar and bricks, and joining them together with those of my father, made them very solid. Esagil, the wonderful temple, the palace of heaven and earth, Equa, the temple of Marduk, the lord of the gods, Kahili Sug, the dwelling place of Zarpanit, Ezida, the temple of the king of the gods of heaven and earth, I clothed with shining gold, and made bright like the day. Ezida, the favorite temple, the beloved of Marduk, I restored in Borsippa. Colonel 2, with gold and jewels I gave to it the beauty of paradise. I overlaid with gold its great beams of cedar, and arranged them by 3s to cover Emactila, the shrine of Nebu. I rebuilt and made lofty Emach, the temple of Ninharsag, in the center of Babylon. And Ekikiini, the temple of Ninlalana, near the wall of Babylon. A thing which no king before had ever done. To the west of Babylon, at a great distance from the outer wall, I constructed an enclosing wall 4,000 cubits in length about the city. I dug its moat to the water level. I walled up its sides with mortar and burned bricks, and I united it securely with the moat wall of my father. Along its edge I built a great wall of mortar and burned bricks mountain high. I rebuilt Tabai Supershu, the wall of Borsippa. To strengthen it, I built the wall of its moat about the city with mortar and burned bricks. In Borsippa I rebuilt the temple to Tur-Lil-En, the god who breaks the weapons of my foes. Ibarra, the temple of Shamash in Sippar, Idirjana, temple of Sharsabi in Bas, Eedi Anu, temple of Anu in Dilbad, Eanna, temple of Ishtar in Erech, Ibarra, temple of Shamash in Larsa, Ejish Shurgal, temple of Sin in Ur, the sacred temples of the great gods I rebuilt and completed. The support of Esagil and Ezida, the rebuilding of Babylon and Borsippa, which I caused to be more magnificent than before, I did according to instructions. All my noble deeds in regard to the support of the sacred temples of the great gods, which I did better than the kings my fathers, I wrote upon a stone tablet and fixed for future days. May the wise men after me read of all my works which I have written upon a tablet. May they comprehend the glory of the gods. The building of the cities of the gods and goddesses, which Marduk, the great Lord, set me to do, and kept urging my heart to undertake, with fear and without rest, I accomplished.